The room still smelled like antiseptic and something softer underneath it, milk, maybe. A scent I hadn't learned yet, only recognized. 3 days. That's what everyone kept saying, as if time had meaning in a place where the lights never dimmed, and sleep came in fragments that didn't feel like rest. I hadn't named them yet. The nurses asked gently, then less gently. Forms waited on a clipboard at the edge of my bed. Blank in places that felt too permanent to rush. I was still trying to understand that they were real. 2 small shapes in identical bassinets. Breathing with a rhythm I watched more than trusted. When the door opened, I thought it was another nurse. It wasn't. He walked in like he always did. Like spaces belonged to him the moment he entered them. His suit was too precise for a hospital. Behind him, a woman I didn't recognize at first. Not because I hadn't seen her before, but because I hadn't expected to see her here. She didn't look at me. She looked around the room, taking inventory in a way that felt misplaced. No one spoke immediately. I shifted slightly, feeling the pull of stitches. The heaviness of a body that hadn't finished what it started. "You look stable," he said. "Not, how are you okay?" "Stable," I nodded once. It seemed to be the answer he wanted. He didn't come closer to the bed. Didn't look at the bassinets. Instead, he reached into a leather folder and placed a stack of papers on the small table beside me. The sound was louder than it should have been. "We should handle this now," he said. The woman behind him adjusted her bag on her shoulder. Still not looking at me, I glanced at the papers. The words arranged themselves slowly, as if my mind needed extra time to translate them into something real. Divorce. Custodies. Take 3 million. He continued, his voice even, almost considerate. Sign it, I'll take care of everything else. My eyes moved, not to him, but to the bassinets. They hadn't stirred. I only want the kids, he added. There was no hesitation in the way he said it. No discomfort, just a clean division. Like he was discussing property that needed to be allocated efficiently. I waited for something to follow, an explanation. A justification. Nothing came. The silence stretched, not tense, just complete. My body felt distant, not numb exactly, just slow. Like everything had to pass through something thick before reaching me. I looked at the woman then. She met my eyes briefly, then looked away. That was enough. I picked up the papers. The words were clear, even if my thoughts weren't. Sign here. Each page a step away from something I hadn't fully held yet. You can review it later if you want, he said. But it's straightforward. Straightforward. I found a pen. My hand didn't shake. That surprised me. I signed where the lines told me to. Initialed where I was instructed. The motion felt mechanical, disconnected from meaning. When I finished, I placed the pen down carefully. He stepped forward then, finally, collecting the papers without comment. He didn't check them. Didn't need to. Good, he said. The woman shifted slightly closer to him now, as if something had been completed. I'll have someone follow up, he added, already turning toward the door. No one asked me anything, no one looked at the bassinets. The door closed behind them with a soft click. For a while, I didn't move. The room returned to its earlier state, quiet, controlled, unchanged. Except it wasn't. I turned my head slowly, looking at them. 2 identical faces, eyes closed. Unaware of anything that had just been decided. I signed. I said out loud, though there was no one there to hear it. The words sounded strange, not wrong. Just incomplete. The night came without announcement. The lights dimmed slightly. The hallway quieted. A nurse checked in once, then left. I sat up carefully, ignoring the pull in my abdomen. The room tilted for a moment, then steadied. The bassinets were closer now. I watched them for a long time, memorizing something I hadn't yet named. It wasn't a decision in the way people describe decisions. There was no moment where everything aligned, no clear reasoning that could be explained later. Just a recognition that what had been arranged for me did not include me. I stood slowly, holding onto the edge of the bed until my balance returned. The bag at the foot of the bed was still half-packed from earlier. I didn't add anything to it. I didn't take anything out. I moved through the room quietly, as if someone might stop me. At the door, I paused. Looked back once. Not long enough to change anything. Just long enough to understand what I was leaving behind, and what I wasn't. Then I stepped into the hallway. No one noticed. By morning, the room was no longer mine. He returned early. Earlier than he needed to. The papers were already processed, calls had been made. Things were moving in the direction he had set. That was the expectation. What he found instead was absence, not dramatic. Just missing, the bed empty. The bag gone, no note. The nurse's confusion came first. Then the questions. When was she discharged? Did anyone authorize? No one had. The timeline didn't align. A patient, 3 days post-delivery, leaving without clearance. 2 infants still assigned to her. The situation shifted quickly from inconvenience to procedure. Calls were made. Security reviewed footage. A figure moving slowly through the hallway, unassisted. Unaccompanied. Not running. Just leaving. By the time he understood, it was no longer something he correct. The agreement, so clean the night before, began to unravel under scrutiny. Consent condition. Timing. Words that had been formalities became variables. The hospital requested statement. Then documentation. The presence of a third party, unrelated to medical care, was noted. Questions followed. Not emotional ones, precise ones, he answered them. But answers, once examined, don't always hold their shape. By midday, the situation had expanded beyond him. And somewhere outside the structure he had built, I existed without it, not safe, not certain, but no longer contained. The rest, he couldn't reach.